Good afternoon, everyone. So the morning session, we were discussing about object-oriented programming, how to create or how to do the object-oriented way of programming by creating classes and objects. So why we need to create classes? To implement object-oriented rules in the programming, that is encapsulation, abstraction, polymorphism, and inheritance. So what is encapsulation? Now we know it is combining the variables, that means the state of the object and some functions into a single unit. So only we created first which one? Class. The class to be instantiated, that means from the class object we are creating and we are doing the operations. That means for each object, how the properties we are accessing from the class. Using a dot operator, we can access all the properties from the class. So it's meaning what all class properties created that is used by that object by using the dot operator. Okay. And we learn how to use inheritance. How many types of inheritance we can have? Single, multiple, hierarchical, multi-level, and hybrid. And what is the constructor name here in Python? It is double underscore init and underscore. And how to use that constructor, what is the usage, all those things we have discussed. Then showed you examples for inheritance. Then what is polymorphism, many ways or many forms. In that, one important type of polymorphism is method overriding. So that means inside a parent class, we have a method. The same method you are redefining in the child class. Then that is called as overriding a method. So that's a part of polymorphism. Many ways we are using the function in a different manner. So next is operator overloading. That is also a type of polymorphism. That means the existing operator symbols, our plus, minus, star, lesser than symbol, greater than symbol, all those things we are giving a different meaning. Or you can tell the plus symbol you are using in a different way. Already plus, the existing meaning is what? Plus, if I use with two numbers, it is doing addition. And one more meaning they have already defined. Which one? If I use with the two string values, concatenation we have to perform. These all are working with built-in class objects. Integer that are is a built-in class, and string is also a built-in class objects. For with that already they have implemented different meaning for the symbol plus. Now here we are going to learn what? How to use the same symbol plus for your user defined class objects and create a different meaning for that symbol plus. Okay, or else you can tell if you objects, if you want to perform any operations like arithmetic operation or relational operation, any those kind of operations, if you want to do for a custom objects or user defined objects, then again the same symbols we can use by creating a function for that operators. Okay, so an operator function we are creating so that we can perform operations on custom objects, that is nothing but user defined class objects. Okay, so here already they defined these function names for us. So for addition, plus symbol we are using, then we have to use two operands will be there, that is P1 and P2. So expression, we if you write like this also, its meaning is P1 is accessing like this, P1 dot add of P2. That is the meaning of that one. So underscore underscore add, that is the function name which we have to use if you want to use plus symbol for the user defined objects. Similar to that one, we have sub function is there that we can use for minus symbol, and mult function name that we can use for star. TOW is there for double star, like that. All these function names they have created for us automatically, and we no need to mention or we no need to remember these things and all. Our job is only to use this one, and we are learning So only thing we have to use these names in our program and we give the definition what to be performed for the applications. If a user is using or the programmer is using that plus symbol in his programs, which function to be invoked, only that much we have to write inside the class. Okay. For all the operators we have, this is for our arithmetic operators. And you can see here, this is for the relational operator. Dot LT, that is lesser than, LE, that is lesser than or equal to, like that. All these functions are built in. Okay, names are built in. Definition we are providing there. So example, I'll show you for this operator overloading. So I think everyone remembers about math module. Yesterday we have seen for using at the pi value, we have to import which one? Math module. So only in this program, I used that module name math. So here created a user defined class circle and a constructor is there. So init function is used. And here it's an argument function. So we are passing the some radius value. Self dot radius is my attribute name that is initializing with this argument RAD. And one get radius method we are using. One area function is created, method is created. And here you can see I've created one function with what name? Double underscore ADD double underscore. So this is a function which we have to overload it for doing what operation? Addition operation for two objects. Okay, so plus symbol with the two objects if I want to use in my actual program is inside the class or for this particular class, we have to use which function name? This double underscore ADD double underscore. Okay, and what we are performing? The object, circle object, that means it is having what attribute? Radius value. So first object, radius value, we are adding with second object, radius value. Okay, so that work only here we have done. So self, comma, one more name we have used here, what? Value. Any name you can use it there. Okay, now both self and value is referring the current objects. This add, it will take how many values, how many operands we need? Two operands minimum we want. That means two objects value is required there. So self reference is used for the left operand. That means left side, what is object name I have defined. To refer that one, we are using which keyword? Self. The value name which I have used there, that is for the right side operand. Okay, so we need self dot radius also. Then the next operand also same type of object, circle type of object only. So it is value dot radius we are referring. Okay, in the main program, we can see first object is created what? C1 for the circle type. That means circle is a built user defined class which we have created. And here we passed a value what? 4. After reading this particular line, what your interpreter is doing? It calls this constructor method from that class. And it is initializing this value 4 for the radius of which one? For which one? For this object C1. Okay, and printing what is the radius of the first circle. So C1 dot, which method is called their get radius. So what is the radius value? It will show here 4. Another object for the same circle type of class is created, which one? C2 with a what value? 5. Okay, so now what will happen? Same constructor is invoking for which object? C2 object, and it is initializing the radius value for C2 as what? 5. Printing the second circle radius also C2 dot, same method get radius. So now it will display with what value? 5. Now next one operation we are doing what? C1 plus C2. So C1 and C2 is what? User defined class object. They are custom objects. They are not any built-in objects or they are not any built-in class objects. Okay. The circle is a class which I created, and those C1 and C2 is what? Circle type of two objects we created. So if I write an expression like this, C1 plus C2, it's meaning you're adding two custom objects. Okay. So how this task is performing? For that only, this method name I have used it there inside the class. Which one? Circle. Add method is used, and we have defined the logic also what? C1, that is referring using which name? Self, and C2 is referred using which name? Value. So C1 radius, that is what, self dot radius, plus C2 radius is what, value dot radius. That is returning in the form of what, circle type. So see, typecasting also we have done. And here C1 and C2 are circle type. After adding those two objects, the result also in which way only, circle type of object only. So the result is storing into C3. Okay. C3 I have not created it separately because C3 is taking the value after adding C1 and C2. So C3 dot get radius we are printing here. And with that C3 we are calculating the area. So area method already I have defined. Math dot pi value star self dot radius double star 2. So it's pi r square. For that the expression we have written in this manner. Okay. So that is this example for operator overloading. So to overload this plus symbol for this custom objects, a function is created inside the class with what name? Double underscore add. Same manner, if you want to perform subtraction, we have to use which name there? SUB. And here I have not given the definition right now. This I already showed you. To create an empty block, we have to use which keyword there? Pass keyword we have to use. So it's meaning right now I don't want to give any definition. In future it may require, means that time I can remove this one and you can give the definition there. So is this clear for everyone? This is what operator overloading program. Okay. So this is also a part of polymorphism. So method overriding is there, operator overloading is there. These are the two ways we are implementing polymorphism in Python. Okay. So I completing now all the object-oriented features, how this encapsulation, how the abstraction, polymorphism and inheritance we are implementing according to Python syntax. Okay. Now the next topic here it is about exceptions. So what is exception? If an exception occurs in your program, what we have to perform, how to resolve the problem, that one we are going to see here. So what is an exception is that can be defined as an unusual condition in a program resulting in the interruption in the flow of the program. Okay, that means while executing your program during runtime, if your program stops unexpectedly, that situation is called as what? Exceptions. So we have logic error, then syntax error is there, runtime error is there. In that logic error is what? If you have made any mistakes in the logic while writing the program. So that means what output we are expecting, that it will not show in the execution time. We'll get a wrong output. That is what? Logic error. Syntax error also we have seen so many times. If I am not following the proper syntax of the built-in things which they have already created for us, then it shows you what? A syntax error. And runtime error means when we run the program, that time only it will show you the runtime error or that problem. So it's meaning some problem there in the execution. So it is not a logic problem. It is not a syntax problem also. Some other problem it is creating for us. So what will happen means if any runtime error comes, your program is stopping unexpectedly in that particular line where I got the error. Remaining we have so many lines of execution, then it will not do that rest of the program because it got stopped unexpectedly in that particular line. So that situation is called as what? Exceptions. So whenever an exception occurs, the program stops the execution and further code is not executed. So here in Python, they are telling exception is an object that represents an error. Okay, so actually it is not for a runtime error and all. It can be any error type. Everything in Python they have considered as what? As an object which is representing an error like that. So we need to handle the exceptions. Why we need to handle the exception? See, if you have 10 lines of program code, okay, so you are handling or if you got error at the 5th line, during execution time, we got an error or a mistake at the 5th line means the remaining we have 5 more lines to execute, but it will not work. So it stopped unexpectedly at the 5th line means remaining statements it is not able to execute. So that situation is what? Exception. So we are handling that situation, okay, so that it maintains the normal flow of the program. Okay, so whatever program statement is there, remaining statement is there, that it should work properly. So that is called as what? Exception handling. So here we have keywords to handle that exception. So we have try, expect keywords are there. Then we have finally block is there, try and finally. Then we have raising exceptions are there, raise keyword is there. So try, except, and finally raise. Like that, 4 keywords we are using to handle the exceptions here in Python. Okay. In other languages, we have different keywords. Here in Python, these are the keywords. And all these situations, they have created in the form of classes. Okay, because already here a point we have told, it is an object that represents an error. If an object is there, what is that class for that particular object? What is that situation? Error situation they created as an object means which class it represents or which class it belongs to. So they created all these situations already for us. So we no need to worry about all those things. That is one important feature of Python. Inbuilt exception handling capability is there. You can handle the exceptions using that inbuilt classes. Okay. Only thing, you just refer that class names here in your program and you can handle it properly. Okay. Now, what is this try expect statement? So always commonly used syntax to handle that error is with the try and expect statements only. Both are block of statements. And if the Python program containing any suspicious code that may throw the exception, we must place the code inside the try block. So error expected code we are keeping inside where? Inside the try block. So try block must be followed with which one? Except statement. If you try only, or simply if you give only the try block, it will show you error, because try always must be followed by except block or except statement. That what is that statement contains, which contains a block of code that will be executed if there is some exception in the try block. Okay, so if anything happens inside the try block, how to give the handling statements or how to handle that error situation, those handling statements we will give inside which one? Except block. Okay, so this is the syntax. Try block means we'll use the colon. We can give the error expected code there, and try can have multiple except blocks also. So like this, except, what is exception type? Again, one more exception like that and all we can give it there. Okay, we'll see in example how this try except block is working. So this program, first I will show you without using try. So what is the problem, we'll see. Or when it will show you an error, that also we'll see here. Okay. So now we are asking user to input 2 numbers, that is in A and B, integer type of values. And what here I'm doing is we are finding the difference of those 2 numbers, A minus B, and that is storing in this X variable. So we are telling X not equal to 0. One condition is checking. If that is true, we are printing the result is operation is division operation. The first number, that is A slash X. Else case we are performing B slash X, and have remaining 2 more lines to execute like this. This is a demo program like that. 2 more printing statement is there. Okay, we'll execute this file and see what is the problem. So I have given like this 2 numbers, 20 and 10. I don't have any error problem here because I got the proper output. 20 minus 10, we got 10 as answer. 10 not equal to 0. So 10 not equal to 0, the condition is true. So what it is performing, 20 divided by 10, we got the quotient value as what? 2.0. Okay. And it executed my remaining statements. 2 more lines is there, that also got executed there. Okay, fine. Now we will see here now what is happening if you execute in a different input. Suppose I have given like this. It is asking 2 numbers only. So user can input in this manner also. So he ended with 2 equal values. So now what is the problem? Your program stopped there because it is giving you an error there. But syntax wise everything is correct. They don't have any problem here. But problem it is showing with what? division by 0, because here 10 minus 10 it is performing. So the x value it is showing is what? 10, sorry 0, and 0 not equal to 0, the condition is false. So it will go to else part. Else what we are performing is 10 divided by 0. Division by 0 is not possible, so that it will show you a runtime error. Okay, so it will throw a runtime error, and here you can see, we can make out the problem here in this output window. What is the class name it is showing? 0 division error is the class name. So at the error type already it is defined. Anytime in user or programmer is giving slash by 0 operation, division by 0 operation, then which object has to be thrown? The 0 division error object has to be thrown like that. Already they defined this type of exceptions for us. Okay, or this type of errors, it is already defined it there. Now, what is the problem there? Division by 0. So this is a message. This is a message which it is showing what is the problem for this particular class. Okay, so this we know, but what happened is what? The remaining I have 2 more lines to execute, that it is not working. From here we came to know what is the problem. Okay, error happened in that line. What is the error type? Which class it belongs to? All those information I got it. But the problem of this execution is what? Remaining we have these 2 more lines that it is not executing. Okay, so that's a problem of which one? Exception. So we are handling this situation only. What if any error happens also, we have to maintain the normal flow of our program. Okay, so now see how we are doing. So try we are using with except. So try where I'll use where we are expecting an error. So this if else only we are getting error. So inside the try, this if else we are providing. That indentation only properly we have to give it. And try always must be followed by which one? Except. So except. Now here I can give error handling statements. So if I give same values, then only we are getting the problem, right? Otherwise, there is no problem in your program. So that is a statement which I want to display there. Okay, fine. This is one way. So it is asking now 2 numbers. Okay. We are entering now 10 and 10. So now see. Okay, error happened, but that I have handled it properly, that situation. Error occurred, it is showing. That means the statements in the except block is working. It's meaning here inside the try, we got an error, a mistake happened or an exception occurred. Then it automatically goes to which block? Except block. There, what is the statement I have given? Error occurred. Don't give the equal value. So I got that messages and remaining statements also executed properly. So this is called as what? Exception handling. Okay, if any mistake or any exception occur in the during execution time also, we no need to worry about that one. We can handle that situation by giving which one? Except block. So it will only handle it. Okay. Now here, this I can give with a class name. Okay. So this is possible. If you don't know any of the class names, like the 0 division array is one type of class they have created. Like that, so many error classes are there. If you don't know any of these error classes, no need to worry. You should only remember one class name, which one? Exception class name. If you know this class name, all the other error types you can handle it, because while creating all the error type of classes, they inherited from this particular class only. So if you know this class name, you can handle other types of errors. So you see here. Now also there is no difference in this. If suppose I am printing the class name, you can see here, print. To equal values if I give. So it is printing and showing you what is the class name for us. Okay, so like this we can print. This is one way. And one more way, you can give an object, because we have already told it is an object which is thrown at the runtime. Okay, what type of error it is creating, according to that an object it is throwing. So we are creating an object for that particular class by using which keyword? As keyword. Any object name we can give. Here I have told it as E. So now here I'm printing the E value. Object value we are going to print there. Okay, this is another way. So what I have possible ways I showed is, one is only except, without mentioning any class name, nothing. Simply I can give a value like this, or else we can give the exception name. Class name we can provide it there, only that much also, or else the class you are identifying using an object name like this, using a keyword what as, and that object value also you can display it. So these all are the possible way to handle the exception. So if I give two equal values, so see the statement which I given, that is working, error occurred, don't give the same value, plus it is showing the problem what? Division by 0. How I got that message? That message here I have seen, see. Okay, so that how I am able to retrieve it here, because here we have told to display which one object. So right now the situation is division by 0. Even though I have not mentioned that class name, E is now referring to what situation? 0 division error situation. So it is printing that message for you. So is this clear for everyone? How to use the try except block? Inside the try, we are giving the error expected code. And if anything happened inside the try, that we are handling using except. Okay, except how all, what all possible ways we can give that one. That is only here I have showed you. Okay, now here, this try block that can have an optional else part. How this else part we used with our while loop, we can use it for the for loop. That is actually optional. That means in that cases, when we exit from our loop, something if you want to execute, we'll give inside the else. Same thing here also, when no error is there, something you want to execute, then we can give inside which one? Print. Because except block, when it will execute, if an error is there inside the try, then only except block will execute. If no error is there, then something we have to execute and show in the else part. That is which one? Optional else block also we can create it. Now simply I'm typing like this, a hello message. So I have inputting the value. So 2 and 2, we have error. So except block is executed. Proper program execution is working. Now run again. So now 20 and 30 is the two inputs. Right now we don't have error. So it is executing which one? Hello message from the else part. And then also remaining statements it is working there. So clear? So that is the usage of which one? Else. Okay. Now another important point here is finally block. One more example with this exception I'll show you. That is mainly yesterday we have seen in the file management. No. So this file management also we can give inside where? Inside the try block, because there and all so many error situations are there. Like this, if you try to open a file, if the drive which you have specified is not available, or the file name which you have specified is not existing, extension is not proper, in all those ways error situations are there. Okay, so now here I'm going to open a file from the drive F, or from the H drive we can give. This is the file which I'm going to open for reading purpose. Okay, we have given the read function and all. Yesterday we have seen. So if I use read without passing arguments, it's meaning the whole file content I want to read it. And here I'm expecting error. So these are the situations I told you. If the file is not existing for reading purpose, it is not possible to access it. And another problem is if this location is not available in your system, then also it is an error situation. So expecting error in these conditions. So we are giving inside which one? Try block. Okay. And here we are writing except exception as EX. So this I have already showed you class name, because I don't know in this situation what is the built-in class name they have defined it. So you can ignore that problem and all, you can just give only what name, exception name, E capital, and one object name, any object name we can give, and I'm printing that object value. Remaining statement is like this. I have one more statement to execute. Okay, we'll run and see now. Right now, anyway, error is there because I don't have H drive. So see, now what it is showing? No such file or directory. Okay. So now also the remaining statement it is executing. That is only the advantage of using which one, exception handling. Okay. If you are not using that also, here, if you are not writing this also, it will work. But I just want to show you what we have remaining one more line to execute in our program. For that purpose only, a printing message demo we have given. And here it is working like this. Okay, so this is the problem, we got it here. Now we have one more point here, that is about finally block. Finally means else part I have showed you. Finally, that is an optional again, which is used with the try statement. It is executed no matter what exception occurs. So whether the exception occur or not, if you want to execute something, that I can give inside which one, finally block. Because else part when it will execute, if no exception is there, then else part will execute. If exception is there, else will not work. If exception is there, then except block. If exception is not there, except block will not execute. So we want some block of statement or some particular area where that has to be executed every time. Doesn't matter whether exception occurred or not. So that we are giving using which one, finally block. Okay, so finally that get always executed, doesn't matter whether the exception occurred or not, and it is which is used with the try statement. Again, always that must be used with the try only. Okay, individually will not use the finally block. So you can see here in this program, I'm adding the finally. So what is the main usage of finally block is, we can give some important code like closing the stream connections or closing any other connection type of things we can give inside where finally block. So it is important to close all the connections which we have opened. See, I have opened this file for reading purpose. In this program, actually, I have not closed it. Okay, so that closing things is important. Otherwise, we may lose the data. Okay, so that closing this file stream, we can give those statement inside which one, finally. So finally, advantage is what, doesn't matter whether exception occurred or not, always it will get executed. Okay, so to show whether it is executing always, I'm just printing a hello message also inside the finally, plus I have closed the file. Okay, now you see the output. The F is inside the try block, so only it is showing like that. It's like a local like that they are taken. Hmm. One second. Z drive. Only the reading action I'm doing just to show you how the finally is working. Okay, we have opened this file and reading operation we are doing. Drive and all I have given properly. Now you see here. So now it is showing what? This is executing. There is no such file or directory. Okay. And here we got this name error also. Name F is not defined like that. We got a name error. 1 second. Error to file not found exception like that it is working. This I'll command and I'll show you with finally whether it is working always. So that hello message that it is working. Anyway, closing things we can't make out no whether it have closed or not. We can check with that Boolean type of values only. Closed one attribute is there. With that we can check it. Otherwise, we can't make out whether it is working or not. So only we were getting like this kind of errors. So now I have removed that one. So it is working. Finally is working with an error situation also. If you don't have error also, it will work. So this one, I am creating one file. In this, I have only C drives. Only it is not allowing me to create it here. Okay. So it is full restriction here. So the point is, we can create a file there, then we can access it. And here, this finally I'm showing to it will execute always. Doesn't matter whether the exception occurred or not. So that only here I have showed you. This program, it is not working. Why? Because there is a restriction. So only. Okay, so that admin power we don't have. Because of that only it is not showing. So this is the point how to use the finally block. It is followed by try and accept block only. Again, individually will not write the finally. You have to always write with try and accept block. Okay. Now here one more thing is raise keyword. So that is used to raise an exception. So already zero division error class have one meaning what division by zero like that they have already created. Other than that, any other meaning if you want to give or you want to give a different value, then that we can use which keyword? Raise keyword. So raise exception we can give, which is the class name and what is the value to be raised. Okay, that is the way how to use this exception. Okay. See here in this program, here I'm going to show you how to use the raise keyword. So here a try block is used. Inside the try, one variable is accepting age equal to int of input age value. And an if condition is telling what if the age is lesser than 18, then we have used here an keyword which one? Raise and value error. Okay. it is again one another type of class only. Else case the age is valid we are printing. So in the except block, which class name we have referred it there? Value error. And this is the message I want to print there. So this program we are raising with what? A particular class which is built in. So when I raise this one, he'll automatically it comes to this except block and it will work with that particular value which I have given here in this except. Okay. So this is how to raise exception one way. So run and see means whatever input I am giving according to that it will work. If I give an input 12, it is showing what the age is not valid. One second. Okay. If you give more than 18, it will print what? Age is valid, like that it will print. That is one way to raise the exception. Another way is like this. So we are again taking another input, that is entering positive integer we are telling. If the number is lesser than or equal to 0, then we are passing a message also. With which one? While raising, we are passing a message. Okay. So here that is a negative number, we are passing a message. So here what is happening? Except value error as E and printing that object name. So right now this object value error class having what value? That is a negative number, like that a value we are raising. So now this object E will be referring to which message only? This particular message only it will be referring. So that value we will get there. Already value error class is a built-in class that is already defined with a built-in messages. Now we want to raise a new message for that built-in classes, so that we can use which keyword? Raise keyword, we can use it there. So that is a negative number, that is a message we got it. Okay, fine. Okay, so this is one way. One more example I'll show you with the raise keyword. That is like this. Our arithmetic error more error. So raising, if you want, you can change it with your zero division error. Like this one statement we are giving. Okay. So here it is B is 0. I have got. So B is 0, like that we are checking a condition. Then we have to tell what? Zero division error. Okay. Else case we are printing that values there. Okay. So this one, if you input B as 0, here we are referring with which one? Exception as E. And here I'm printing that E value like this. Okay. So I have given the inputs like this. So now what is happening? Only while raising, I have told what is the class name, zero division error. Already we know what is the message for the zero division error is. Here we can see, not in this window. We have got one first time error, no? Okay, see, what is a class name? Zero division error, and the message they have already created for the class is what? Division by zero. Okay, so this message now I have changed with a new message by using which keyword? Raise keyword like this. So zero division error class only we are raising with this particular value. And if you raise like this, it will go to this except. There I have not mentioned a zero division error class name. Here I have mentioned which one only? Exception only, the class name. Object is what? E. So right now, which is the error it is throwing? This particular object. So that value only it is showing here now. You can see what is the error situation. Can't divide a number by zero. This is the message which I have given there. Okay. So clear these things. So in this ways, you can handle the exceptions here in Python. We can use try except, then finally, and this raise keyword. Okay, so I hope everyone understood what is exception handling. Any doubt is there? Okay, so that's all about Python. Okay, so we have started how we are creating small programs and how object-oriented programming. In between, we learned about file management, how to use modules, then how to create each data types. We have built-in data types like numeric types is there, then sequence type is there, dictionary, set. I hope everyone understood what is the differences between these types. Okay, which is mutable, which is immutable, that also I have explained. What all operations we can do with this built-in data types, that also I have explained. How to create a user-defined functions, that is again important because you have seen here in object-oriented programming, you should know how to create function, then only you can create methods inside the classes. And in OOPS concepts, what all things? Encapsulation, polymorphism, inheritance, and which one? Abstraction. So all these things is completed. Then how is exception handling is working. And we have learned so many built-in modules also, which is more important, more commonly used important modules here in Python. Okay, that also we have completed. So is there any doubt? If any doubt is there, you can ask me now. And as I told you morning, you have to take one assessment. So for that, one link I am posting now in a group. You can go to that link. There is a Google form. There multiple choice questions are there. Okay, you can answer that one and submit your exam. Okay, so after 10 minutes, you can join. Before that, any doubts is there, you can ask me.
Ma'am, Madhuri here.
Madam.
Yeah. I'll again just take attendance quickly.
Okay. Sure.
Before the test begins.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Yes, third semester students, Akshita.
Present, ma'am.
Arpita.
Present.
Bhavana.